So we're going to translate the bear into a poi movement. This is kind of how I first got into trying to figure out how Tai Chi could become poi. The way I'm going to explain it is that first of all you have to have the bear, which, as I've described in the last video, is that you are shifting your weight in a relaxed way to 100% on one leg, keeping your body aligned, stacked, and mechanically sound, if that makes sense. Keeping the weight equal on the distribution of your actual foot from the left, front right, and your heel. And when you're going to the point where that balance is being upset, you want to retreat from that edge and go back to the other side, letting your arms be driven by your hips. So it could be said that if we are really in a harmonious, effortless type of graceful movement, a kind of Tai Chi excellent movement, that any arm movement would never happen unless there was a weight shift, because then the initiation would be happening from our upper body and we would be working against or working in resistance to the natural physics. So this is a good way to practice that. I'm calling this the Wavy Weave. I'm not the first one to do it, but I really love it, and I've taught it a bunch to a lot of people, and you've probably seen it. How it works is that, say we have poi out, relaxed, and say our hands are able to remain relaxed as well, which is really important about what kind of grip you use. I really like finger grips because I can open my hands and not have to grip anything, allowing me to relax and not have tension in my arms. So, as I shift to one side, and I shift back, starting the bear up, relaxing my hips, and just watching, poi will inevitably hit my body at first, but they start to form a sort of figure eight motion, and they start to have a kind of swing on every side. So without me having to do anything with my upper body other than letting my hips rotate, the poi have momentum, and they have a fair amount. I can really get them to move quite quickly. If I kept going, they'd actually get almost vertical. So that's kind of a same time version. But say we took a backwards 3-beat weave, so like this. So we're going back and forth, and if you notice, I can actually make sure that I'm doing this every time and shifting my weight to make the motion go back and forth, which people will do naturally, but if you point it out, it really changes the way people do a weave and move in general. So every time we're churning so that our hips can churn, so that our shoulders don't have to be in contrast or in a twist from that, always keeping our nose in line with our belly button. And now, if I take my right poi, this one over here, every time that it crosses my center line over to the opposite side, to my left side, instead of having my cross point be directly in front of me, right there where the X is drawn, I'm going to have the cross point move over to my left, far over there, so that I have it about 120 degrees with my left poi going that way, to my right poi going that way, every time they cross over. What this means is that, as I'm doing this, now I'm suddenly going to, at this point, take it and hit way over there. I'm going to just swing across my body and under as I weave over to the other side. As I do that, I'm going to do it back to the other side with the other poi. And now the important thing is that if you maintain a weave that is initiated by your arms and your upper body, and has a lot of tension and force, like this one, which most people do when they first start spinning poi, then if you try this, what will happen is it'll start to hit you, and it will get really sloppy, and it really won't work well at all. But if you relax, let your upper body do nothing, remember the bear exercise, remember the shift of weight as the thing that propels your arms movement, and then remember to really slow down and relax even more than you think you can, and never let the poi come over horizontal. Never let them come over your shoulders in their plane. They're never going to be vertical up against you in kind of a hallway orientation as if they were when you're normally doing it. They're always going to be sloppy, below, kind of almost similar to a mixture between a pendulum and a normal circle. Who knows? But every time I should be able to lift my opposite foot that's unweighted without my body being disturbed, without it having to correct itself like this. So every time it's going to cross, under, cross, under, cross, under, cross, under. And I can do this really slow, really sloppy. And I can show you that my hands are doing nothing. I have no control with my fingers. This is all being directed by my hips. It's a really good example of what I think is so important. That your hips drive everything. Or I could have a little more emphasis in it, so I can choose when I want to, when I already have that sense of effortlessness established, to add in emphasis when I want to. So on the downswing, I could use my arms and my upper body to create moment of momentum, but I'm still using my hips to be the main initiation of movement. So I can bring it up, fall down. Not only that, but when I get to a side, I can do a circle in either direction, so I can just kind of let them weave around in a circle, still shifting my weight with my feet, making sure that my body has a good alignment, my head, my shoulders, and my torso, all stacked still. So what can happen sometimes is I see people spinning poi a lot like this, where their upper rock, their upper body is not balanced over their lower body, therefore creating tension and muscle engagement. It's not letting them to be, not allowing relaxation to happen. So what you want to make sure of is that your head, if you shot a laser through your head, you go directly in between your feet at all times, and or directly over your feet or in between the feet. So what that will look like is like this. Nose always in line with my belly button, my arms relaxed, my elbows heavy, breathing, shifting my weight so that I can lift my foot at every extreme, or even so that I could take a step at every extreme. And always still remain controlled and relaxed. And the next step is that you can create any variation on this. You could say at one point, bring one hand up as they cross into center line, or bring both hands up and bounce back and forth. Or you could do whatever else you want. You could turn around with it. And the best part about this movement is that this I see as kind of a foundation between all the different planes and timings and directions. For example, say, and I'd like to try this too, say that you are spinning in a wheel plane, doing a weave, or whatever else you'd like to do, or a flower, or whatever. Then at any time that your hands want to join each other, or any time you bring your hands together, I can initially just drop my weight down and find my way into this movement. So for example, here I'm in this plane. It's not really quite all forward, all backward, all split time, or all same time. It's kind of in between thing. So at any point I can come out of it, shift it, and be in wheel plane or wall plane at any time. Or even floor plane. I can just be here and come out. And then come directly back into it. So it's this really nice ground that you can use so that you don't have to do this anymore, which is still nice, but it's a moment of tension. And then anytime you go like this and pull, you pay attention to what your shoulder feels like. There's a moment where you have to really jerk, all from the upper body, which is okay, it's not bad in itself, but if we're trying to have a type of movement that is effortless, relaxed, graceful, and in harmony, then this might be a worthwhile thing to try. So once again, I'd like you to try getting this going on, trying it with the bear first, then at any time, trying to intersperse it with anything that you really like to do. So for example, I like flat, 4-petal anti-spin flowers. So at some point, I'm going to bring one hand up and do a 4-petal anti-spin flower, and I'm going to find my way back into it. Yep. That's all for now.